Hello and welcome to the winner reveal of Challenging 1984 Season 1. So I have the four finalists here as well as some other players from the season that are here to find out who has won this season. So first, I'd like to go through each of the tasks that they had to do so everybody's kind of on the same page of what they were doing. So, for task one, they were sent a link to a jigsaw puzzle. However, instead of having to solve the puzzle, there was a task within the puzzle that they had to complete. So they did not have to actually complete the puzzle, they just had to complete the task. The task was verbally stating out the boot list. So that was task one. Task two was a little more complicated. They had to take a stack of solo cups and use pencils to build them into a pyramid, with the pyramid having all the cups lipped down except for the top one. They would then have to take or use their hands to place ping pong balls on the outer cups. They then used the pencils to transfer the cups or the balls from the side of the cups into the top cup, and then they had to deconstruct that tower back into a stack. Um, so then for task three, they had to, or they were sent a Google slide with tangram shapes on it, and they had to make a square with the tangram shapes. Um, and then task four, they had to fill up 5 cups of water and blow 3 ping pong balls across the water. And then last, they had to answer 7 trivia questions. For every question they got wrong, they added another cup that they would have to flip. But instead of doing normal flip cup, they had to flip the first cup normal, and after that, their flip cups had to land on the previous cups, so the stack. So it is now time to reveal the results. So if you guys can look in the announcements chat, that's where I'm going to be dropping the pictures. I'm not going to screen share because I want your guys' reactions to be recorded. So, with a total time of 28 minutes and 27 seconds, the person receiving fourth place is Eli. So, Eli, you have finished in fourth place. Good job. Let's move on to third place. So, third place finished with a time of 28 minutes and 18 seconds. So, only 9 seconds ahead of Eli. Finishing this season in third place is Kennedy. So, that means it comes down to Tyler and Zach. So I will be sending the winner picture.
Oh,
So
Zachary, how fitting.
by a time of 27:58 to 25:31, congratulations, Zach Rav, you are the winner of Challenging 1984 Season 1. Zach, for the third time you have won this game. What do you have to say for yourself?
How boring. How boring. The audience is booing. America's yawning, especially Bryce. But I enjoyed it. It was actually a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing with all of you and didn't actually expect to win genuinely after going and doing the finale today. But glad to have been here. Thank you so much for having me, Michael. And I'm excited for season two if the network decides to renew the show, which with this win, I don't know if they will, but I'm very glad to be here. So thank you and love all of you.
Okay, well, once again, congratulations, Zach, on your win. Tyler, great showing as well. Kennedy and Eli, you guys were not far behind either. This was,
Michael Davis, if I just would have said Brian.
you would have won by a landslide.
If I
Um,
just would have said Brian. Anyway.
um, so with that, congratulations to you again, Zach. This was a very close final. The first person that went was Eli, and then Kennedy went and was ahead by 9 seconds. And I was like, okay, so this is going to be competitive. And then Tyler went and was ahead only by another like 20 seconds. So it's like, okay, this is real competitive. So you guys all killed it. Shout out to Kennedy for getting the tangram really fast compared to the others, even though she probably doesn't feel like she got it fast. But yeah, you
I
guys
thought
all
I thought I was
Fuck
fucked
that.
on that.
Fuck that tanagram, like for real.
No,
You
I
guys
thought y'all
all-
had me. Fuck Flip Cup.
So fun fact, each of you did have one task that you individually won. Each of you had one of them that you won, and then Zach, you had two. So that's kind of fitting. So yeah. I do have some awards because you guys begged. They're not like there's not a lot and they're not amazing, but there are some awards. So I'll
It's
go
just not
through
a, it's
them.
just not a reunion without awards. So
Uh-huh. Okay. So the first award is the most intense elimination. So this was Antoinette versus Tyler, Brian versus Bryce, and Mikey versus Eli. So you had Antoinette and Tyler with like the almost double overtime. Mikey and Eli, that very first elimination, I had no idea what to expect going into these eliminations. And then Brian and Bryce with the 20-minute Connect Four games every time. I did end up choosing Brian's elimination for the most intense. That is the most intense game of Connect Four I have ever seen and probably will ever see. It was so crazy watching you guys take 5 minutes for every single turn. But yeah, so
Wait, I should get in the photo too.
yeah, you
That's the
definitely
real
have this
robbery.
little like yeah. Okay, next we have the most robbed. So we have Benji, who lost elimination by less than a second. Sarah, who, if the elimination was not a head-to-head face-off, very likely does win that elimination. And then Taisha, who was given not a great challenge for her for the purge. I did ultimately give this to Benji. Less than a second, milliseconds took you out of this game. And I think you would have slayed the final. I don't know if you would have won, but you definitely would have done very well. So you were very close to making it through.
I actually would have been purged in the puzzle.
That is also well.
You
well,
did not see the times. The
I don't
times
know.
were-
You probably would have beaten. You would have been in elimination. I don't
We
know that
love you,
got purged.
Taisha. We love
I
you,
love Taisha. Taisha and her 14-minute puzzle. Okay,
Anyways, we move.
next up we have the best alliance. This was pretty clear to me. The Coochie Cutters. This was Caleb, Kennedy, Tyler, and Zach. They had an alliance pretty early on. There were a bunch of other like strong groups and alliances throughout the season, but this one stood out. Obviously, they were four of the final five. So yeah, they are the alliance of the season. Next, we have the best rivalry. We have Benji versus Zach Ped, Bryce versus Zach Raff, and Jake versus Tyler. This does end up going to Bryce and Zach Raff. This really, the fight was just iconic. I loved it. I screen recorded it. You can go watch it. Get me the views. But all of these rivalries were fun throughout the season to watch and see. But this one earned the title.
Being a
Love
psycho,
it.
being a psycho paid off.
It also like is just funny to me that the episode quote that Bryce got was "You're not gonna be a 3-time winner," and Zach
Oh
became a 3-time
no!
winner.
Oh, that's so embarrassing for me, actually.
So
I
next we have
mean, he spoke it into existence,
He
you
did.
know?
I knew it was gonna happen. I felt it in my bones.
Next, we have the most dedicated award. This award goes to Burks. So Burks caught off work multiple times to be at an elimination that he didn't even know he was going to be in. Pretty sure he said he called off to be here tonight at the reunion. Um, so yes, Berks is very much the most dedicated to this game. A lot of you are dedicated to this game, obviously, but Berks does get that award.
That king.
I'll
that
take
king.
it. I'll take it. There was some misinformation there, Michael, but I'll take it.
I mean, you can fill in the fact checks if you want, but okay. Next, the elimination king slash queen goes to Eli. Eli won 3 eliminations this season, the most of anybody. I do believe if you include each task of the final as a comp win, Eli had the most this season with 5. So now the daily king slash queen was Benji. Benji won 3 dailies, which was the most of everybody as well. And next we have the hero of the season. These were just kind of going off vibes. I'm one person. I get one view of the game. For me, the hero of the season was Antoinette. So I loved just watching Antoinette. Hearing her talk about the game just made me happy. And so, yeah, Antoinette's the hero of the season.
I don't think a single person like wanted to vote for Antoinette. Like I remember like almost everyone saying at one point, like, well, I don't want to do Antoinette.
Okay. And next we have the villain of the season, which is Bryce. Bryce brought the drama. He brought the fights, all of it. Absolutely.
You spelled hero.
Uh-huh. We're all a
Totally.
hero in our own story, but unfortunately, in this story, Bryce is the villain. And then finally, we have the player of the season. So I did decide to give this to Tyler. So Tyler, at pretty much all times of the game, was connected to basically everyone. He had the most connections of the game. Yes, you can say this is pre-game connections, but this is the challenge, so that's part of the challenge. So yeah, Tyler used those connections that he had and was only really ever targeted by Benji. Nobody else ever really targeted Tyler. And so that's what earned him his spot in the finale, was being able to get through in that manner and almost pull out the win. So that is all the awards I have. I will go through episode quotes real quick if you guys would like.
Yes.
And then the only other thing I have is the boombox challenge. I can go through who gave everybody the box if you guys would like.
I just want you to know that the person I gave the box to, I do love you.
I know what you did already.
Okay. So episode 1, the quote was, "You dumb cunt, you stole my win." This was Zach about Kennedy winning the first daily. Pretty sure he said this to her face on a group call.
I'd say it again.
Next was, I don't even remember. Oh, okay, now I remember. It was Brian saying he's very forgettable. Pretty sure this was I'm pretty sure this was about Bryce, I would assume.
I thought it was Brian about Brian.
That's what I thought too.
No.
I was like, that's so sad.
And
Bryce
then
was catching strays tonight.
oh, he sure was. So then the next quote was, "Love ya, but don't miss," from Benji. This was to Zach Ped. Ironically, Benji did miss his shot at Zach Ped that week.
And then I didn't the next week.
That is correct. Okay. So next was, "You will not be a 3-time winner," from Bryce. Which the irony now with our 3-time winner. And then next, this was during the Purge challenge. Benji said, "Some of these bitches have no coordination." So that went very much with the comp, but it was funny to me because Benji was like halfway through the pack, I'm pretty sure, in that comp. And then next was you gotta put yourself first. This was a Caleb quote.
Okay,
To
Boofy.
Benji when Benji was going to put up Tyler. So Caleb told Benji that he has to put himself first.
Sorry, Tyler. Sorry.
You're just being goofy.
So next was a quote from Kennedy saying, "If I'm gonna be a bitch, I'm gonna be consistent." I think that was during her limb.
Yeah,
She was
it
being
was.
petty or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Um,
'Cause I was
and
thinking
then the
Caleb.
next quote also comes from Caleb when he said, "No harm, no foul," right?
Oh my
After Kennedy
God.
survived elimination.
Oh man.
Oh,
And
I
then-
know.
Said, please not Benji. Give me somebody other than Benji. And you said, so I'm putting in Benji.
I had to put myself first at that time.
And then I said, Caleb, you're getting out next round.
Okay, that was all my
technically
own
did, yeah.
doing.
Correct.
That was all due to my competition flopness. Like that was on me.
And then finally, the finale episode quote was from Tyler saying that tangram ruined any chance I had.
The time's out on the tanagram. Like,
I
So
can't believe. Oh my God. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, shout out to Eli finishing the tangram 5 seconds before the timeout. I was like unmuting, getting ready to time you out, and you finished it, and I was like, oh, okay, this works. So that was
I
funny.
knew we were close.
Yeah, it was close. And then I think Zach or Tyler, one of the two, asked me like halfway through how much time was left. It's like I can't tell you, but yeah, that tangram did not have people very happy.
It should not have
I
been
liked
as
it.
hard as it was.
It
Like
honestly-
genuinely.
it
I liked
literally
it.
should have been easy. Like after you put it together for me, like I was like, this is so stupid.
Okay, and then the boombox. So round one, Tyler got the boombox from Taisha.
Aisha,
Round two, Bryce got the boombox from Kennedy. Round three,
Sorry.
Zach Ped got the boombox from Taisha. Round four, Eli got the boombox from Caleb.
I'm so sorry, Eli.
Round five, Jake got the boombox from Zach Rav. Round six, Kennedy got the boombox from Caleb.
Fuck you, Boofy. Fuck you, Boofy.
Round seven, Burks got the boombox from Zach Rav.
I knew it, Zach.
I had to.
Round eight, Antoinette got the boombox from Caleb. Round nine, Caleb got the boombox from Taisha. And then Zach also got the boombox from Taisha. The wheel or randomizer like really loved like 4 people and nobody else. And it did not hit Benji a single time, yet he won the comp. So it's just ironic.
Social
there.
game strong.
Oh, no, I
Absolutely.
just sat there. I'm forgettable.
So then last order of business, we did do a fantasy draft for the season, for the viewers. So there were points that they could earn, based on how you guys performed, plus your final placement, everything like that. So the winner of that draft was Michael Davis, with a team of Benji, Kennedy, Brian, and Zach Rav. But then shout out to second place because that's the real winner, because I obviously have bias to knowing what the comps will be and all this stuff. So Michael M, I think is who it is, with the team The Plastics.
Michael Michaelonis?
Not Michael Michaelonis, or is it? No, Michael McCollum. Is that it? I think. Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So he was 3 points behind me. He had Tyler, Brian, Taisha, and Zach Rav. So, yeah.
in fantasy for a challenge game?
What was that?
They picked me for a challenge game.
And
I
you
mean,
ate them up. What do you mean, Taisha? You killed it.
you got 16 points for your teams.
You
Oh,
killed it.
period. Yeah, I love that. Okay.
Now, I'm pretty sure those are placement points and making the semifinal, but that's
Queen.
what it is. So, and then shout out to Marissa from last season. She was the last person to have a full team. So her team was Kennedy, Caleb, Eli, and Taisha.
Ah, we love Marissa.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but she
Um,
picked me, so I like her.
So yeah, that is all I've got for you guys. If there's any questions you have for me or each other, you are more than welcome to talk about them. I'll leave the stream going for a little bit, just if you guys have anything to say. But otherwise, I'll end it in a little bit. Kennedy, yes.
How many flip cups like did each of us have to do?
I think Tyler had the most. He had to do 8.
I just want to know if I
Zach?
had to do the least and got the most time.
Kennedy, how many did you have? Was it
Um,
also?
I had 5 total I had to do. So the
Okay.
original 3 and then 2.
Okay, Zach also had 5, and I think Eli had 6.
Yeah, I had 6.
Yeah.
How
Fuck
did
flip
Zach?
cup.
Zach, how did you do that so quick?
I don't know. I mean, I've done that challenge before, but like, I don't know. You just like,
I think my
honestly,
first cup took me 7.5 minutes. My first cup.
that
Yeah,
was
Or
and
my
then
second
she
cup, I
got
guess.
them all, the rest of them back
And
to
then
back to back.
right after Michael Davis. I
No,
literally I
the
couldn't get
first
the
cup is
second
the
one on the first
hardest.
one. And then it was like that.
Yeah,
I
one
thought the
like
first cup was the hardest for sure.
like the second one, like the first one that you're landing on another. All of you struggled with that the most.
Mhm.
Like that was the one that took all of you the
The
longest.
longest.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought that was gonna be the challenge that Zach like flopped, but
They have. When I was in Ascendance with Antoinette, we had a live night, which was Flip Cup, and I sat there for an embarrassingly long amount of time trying to flip cups, and I couldn't, and it was like it was bad. It was really, really bad.
was
So
your
Zach did
redemption.
train to come into the challenging.
I told you guys,
1984 house.
Zach was training for the final the whole season.
It's true.
If
all I'm gonna say is using the pencils to build the tower, I got the best time, my redemption era.
You did great.
The
If
first time
I
was not you.
wouldn't have forgot to say Brian Spencer, I would have done the first task in like a minute. Like
Yeah, I
Yeah.
looked and I'm pretty sure your final time would have been like 22 minutes.
so yeah, I would have won by 3 minutes.
Mhm.
All I'm gonna say is thank you, Caleb, for giving me that chart of the boot order because I did use that.
Of
Oh my
course,
god. I
gotta
went on the
help my
Facebook. I
girlies
should have just used
out.
that.
Wait, Kennedy, literally, it's in our alliance chat.
No, I have it. I just went on the Facebook.
Oh,
I guess I forgot to say Brian somehow.
Yeah.
There's a world where my phone lagged. I'm gonna say that just so I cope. Just I cope
As she
that my
lagged,
phone
we
lagged and you
love
can
it.
hear me. I'm gonna say that for my sake.
Yeah, so I did go back
Because I
and watch
literally said it
as
backwards
well.
too.
So there were other times like you did say Brian, but that like your from
I
Mikey
switched
to
Antoinette and
Caleb,
Jake probably.
you there were times where you had said Brian, but you had like stopped. So you were like Mikey, Brian, Sarah HGC, and then you were like
Yeah.
Mikey, like so you like
Yeah.
restarted.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then you had also before you had even gotten through any of it as well, did like the whole backwards thing, all that. So
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's all right.
yeah. But yeah. So little things. It's little things. But I for one really did enjoy this season. Give me your guys' feedback. Other than the memory comp, we don't need to talk about her. Everything else, give me your feedback.
The memory comp.
We don't have to worry
Loves
about
my
the
one win.
You ate that,
I-
Caleb. You ate it.
I apologize that you had
The
to see me
matching
get
comp?
that mad.
we won't talk about the matching comp. Everything else, give me
Yeah.
feedback on what you liked, what you didn't
I
like.
was so mad.
All of that. I'm not sure when we'll do another challenging, but I do definitely want to do one.
Mhm.
Again, I really enjoyed this. So let me know as well how you guys felt about the pacing of the game. Let me know if you feel like you would enjoy a longer term game of this, or if you liked it how it is. I think if we did it longer, it would be a little less intense. It'd more be like a
Mhm.
daily and then a limb or something like that. But
And then people
I
aren't going to talk. That's my
this,
thought.
yeah.
I think the pacing of the game was good. Like
Mhm.
I think the appeal for a lot of people playing was that it was so quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed.
Cool.
Yeah, like I'm much more willing to do like a 1 to 2 week game than a 4 week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason
I-
was to play again.
I
So,
do
yeah.
think you could probably have like a bigger cast with like a couple more days.
Mhm.
Because I mean I get it, it's season 1, but like obviously this game was like very connection heavy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I
Which-
also feel like you countered it really well
For-
with the voting system and the wheel. Like my one vote from fucking Burks.
Oh, that
Like,
was
I
Oh
feel
my
like-
god.
that was drama.
I chewed him up for that. I chewed
Can
them all up
I
for that.
can I address that? Can I like
I hate you.
Hey.
okay, you know,
Yeah.
maybe that was not the time.
No, address the allegations, Barkeesh.
Address it. Address it. This is what we're here for.
Okay, I'll
What
just
is there
say,
to
I think-
discuss? Burks, you voted for me.
Okay, here's the thing. So I think the wheel was a little bit cursed because every single time, like I voted, and I would switch my vote sometimes. Like my vote always went through, so I didn't even like mean to like attack Kennedy like that. But basically, what happened was, well, I don't know how much everyone knows, but basically, me, Tyler, and Caleb had a 3-person chat from the start, and then it was me, Caleb, Tyler, and Bryce as Hall of Fame that we were working together from the very beginning. And what happened was Bryce was already going in that round. So the 3 of us were like, okay, we can't have 2 of us going in. And what happened was we wanted to split as many votes on the wheel as possible because we knew that it was Antoinette was getting a few votes that round. So we were like, if the first time it lands on Antoinette, it like limits the possibilities for the second wheel.
Oh, I think I had talked about that with somebody too. It might have
Yeah,
been you
It was me.
or
It was me
Benji or
entirely.
somebody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what
I-
happened was we decided that the 3 of us, one of us would vote Kennedy, one would vote Jake, and one would vote Eli.
Interesting. So Tyler and Caleb were in on the plan to give me a vote.
And well, that's why. Okay, that's what I wanted.
Interesting.
I didn't personally want to vote for you, but I know that both of them
Interesting.
had stronger inclinations to vote for.
So Caleb set me up for death twice.
It wasn't like
I will tell you, there
that.
were only 2 times that I got really mad in this season, and Brendan watched it, and both of them were in the same round. It was the memory comp, and then being told I had to play Benji in the Elim.
I will
It
say,
wasn't
even
bad.
though like those were the 3 names, neither of them wanted to be the one to vote for you because like they did care about you.
Mm, and instead of you being like, let's not vote for her, you did. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Well, I knew that. Well,
Honestly,
like I had a feeling
yeah.
that like, the 4 of you guys were together, and I like
Yeah.
well, I wasn't gonna stop that. So
Yeah, no,
Okay,
you're good.
in my
Yeah.
defense, nobody would throw out a name that round, and all I
did.
heard at like the very last. Okay,
Interesting.
Bryce, no.
Right?
people
Did
were-
you just not want to go against me, Bryce?
I begged them to put up Antoinette.
Yeah, no.
And they said there's gonna be 6 votes for Antoinette, it's too many. And I was like, just don't
Bro,
put up
I-
Jake and
I-
Kennedy. And then they put up Jake and Kennedy. And I yelled at them for too long about
Okay,
it.
but
It's
to
fine now.
be fair, I did not think Jake was getting 3 votes.
yeah,
Like,
we did not know that. Yeah.
I didn't think it was getting any, actually. Well,
Everybody
except
was
for the
so
one.
obsessed with me this entire season.
As they
No, they
should,
weren't.
honestly.
They
You're
weren't.
kind of a
Antoinette.
queen.
They were.
You
Honestly,
had
especially
me mad.
Tyler. Tyler was so obsessed with you. It
No,
was
Caleb was obsessed with
I
her.
was. I would not shut up about Antoinette. I said that's my final 2.
Well, one was in a
Finally
good
getting
way
it.
and one was in a bad way. So
Me? No, at one point.
every
I-
round,
I did-
yes, Tyler, you were so.
I feel like everybody had
desperate
one
for
person
Antoinette
they
to
were
get on that
obsessed
At
with.
one point, I do think me and Antoinette started off really good, and then we like went downhill.
Yeah, I agree.
Me and Eli had the opposite. We started off not great, and then we mended fences.
Yeah, we sure did. We sure did. And then we never came for each other again. Well,
Period.
actively.
Kennedy and I like didn't talk for the first few rounds. And then we had like one call and it was like very, very good. And we were
Yeah.
like, all right, I would die for you. And then we did.
I remember
Kennedy's
because
power.
we like barely talked, and then I remember it was like a group call, and then I messaged you. I was like, I'm obsessed with you. You made some joke. I don't even know what it was. I think I told you too. I was like, I am obsessed with Benji.
I was like scared shitless round two because I threw the daily comp to Sarah, and
Mhm.
then I told Michael Davis in my chat, I was like, I threw the challenge, I'm going home. And then people were like, the only name I'm hearing is you.
Oh no. Oh no.
Honestly, when
But it worked
Sarah
out.
won, I've never been more scared. Like I don't know if I should have been scared, but
Oh my
like
god, I remember you being like, has she messaged you? Like, is she
well,
talking to people?
she was not messaging anybody. Like
Okay,
I don't know
so
what
the
she was
tea
doing.
was that there was a 6-person group.
Yeah, what the fuck?
it- so I'm pretty sure like none of them were here except there was Antoinette and Sarah, Brian, uh Zach Ped, Jake, and HGC. So the people not here.
Festive Alliance.
There was a
Damn.
6-person group of all of them, and Sarah was on that call talking
Oh my
about who to put
God.
in. And I believe it was between Caleb and Bryce. Tyler's
That's
I don't know
we
if
knew
Tyler's
it.
name is up
We
there or not.
did.
Yeah,
We were on call. We're
did.
like, she's told everyone else so
Yeah.
much more, and she has not told us that we're okay.
Literally,
Like, I
the four of
felt
us
it in
were
my
on call
bone.
freaking out, and then it went like I got a message, and I think Tyler got a message, and then it was like,
Yeah.
okay, it's Bryce or Caleb.
She just messaged me and she's like, I love how the women are killing it. And I was like, yes, I'm
Ugh.
safe.
Suddenly, I don't
I
feel so
don't
bad
know.
for voting her out the next round.
So routed.
Oh, I do
routed.
want to know. Okay, well, Michael, I mean, technically Bryce's name came round one because like he was supposedly like inactive, but like, do you know who like first like pitched it?
I was convinced it was Zach Rav. He was the first person I heard it
It
from.
wasn't.
And then you said it
was
He
wasn't
not.
was
you.
the first person I heard it from too, actually.
Yeah.
Okay,
Zach was
so
also the
Because
first
Bryce,
person I
no,
heard
because the whole
about.
thing, and I think everyone knows, was that Bryce was not added to our one-on-one
Yeah.
until over 24
yeah.
hours after
Yeah.
premiere. So I assumed Bryce was ignoring me.
Mhm.
So
I remember
when
that.
people were asking me who was I really talking to, I flat out said like, well, I really haven't heard from Bryce, and
Mhm.
multiple people agreed with me and said, oh yeah, he's like so quiet. And then before I knew it, his name was an option, and Kennedy was like, are you the one who started it? And I was like, no, I just all I
Well,
ever
because
said
you
was
had
that I
told
don't
me
talk
that
to
he was
him.
like inactive with you. But Bryce, I think your first message to me was like, I'm sheeping you. And I was like,
And I
oh,
was.
period.
I so was. Like just
So I was like, what do you mean Bryce is inactive?
it
but so was it Brian or like who'd you get it from?
Who?
You if you
Oh.
didn't start it.
Who'd I get it from?
Or
Unless you
yeah.
started it
mean,
accidentally
Brian-
just
I
by
mean-
saying you haven't heard from him.
I mean, it's
I
possible that
do
I
think it was
started
more
it
like a
accidentally,
Zach kind
but
of started it, but
I wasn't
not
like
on
intending.
You
like
cursed me, Michael Davis. You
So
cursed me.
okay, so in my defense, on the night one calls, I always say, check your chats and make sure you have everything because I am human and I might miss something. In my
I
I
defense.
mean, Bryce, you must not have wanted to talk
And
to Zach Rav
I
that
do think
bad.
Bryce and Zach were
That
two people who were not
bad.
dead.
Yeah. I
well, because
mean,
I had all my stuff. I would have noticed if I was missing mine with Bryce, but clearly Bryce didn't notice he was missing his
I
with
think
me.
there was another Zach. I was like, yeah, I'm talking to Zach. Zach Penn.
Zach
But I will
Get them out.
you will
There's
be
too
you will be
many of
hearing
them.
from my lawyers. You will be hearing from my lawyers. Yeah.
Wait, okay, who was spreading this like Hall of Fame rumor? Was it
Brian.
Brian.
It
Yeah.
had
Oh,
to be
Brian.
Brian.
It was
Yeah.
Brian.
Brian.
Obsessed.
I
For
was
sure.
I was
So
so
annoyed.
mad at the duel because I wanted to play with Brian so bad. And Tyler was like, yeah, kill him, Bryce. I said, Tyler, shut the fuck up. Do not do this in my face right now.
That was so fucking
Kennedy.
mad.
Wow.
No, so I threw one of the votes on Brian in round
Mhm.
one just for shits and gigs
Mhm.
because I was like,
Period.
whatever, it'll be fun. And then I was like, why are more people voting for Brian? People are gonna think there's like shit going on.
It's because fucking I think it was just Tyler and Burks went to a few people and were like, Brian, saying your name. Like that's why I did it. And then a
Period.
few people voted for it.
I mean, like the reason I targeted Brian, so me and Brian called like an hour before the vote for like 30 minutes and we were good. Like I don't think Brian was coming for me directly. I think he was just coming for all my allies. But then everything I told him on that call, I literally went to go get water. I came back and HTC's blowing up my messages, being like, why did you leak to Brian? Why did you leak to Brian? And I was like, okay. So, and then I got on the Hall of Fame call. I was like, I'm voting Brian. Like, I'm done.
HGC so leaky. Everybody had told me that Zach Ped was saying my name, and I got on a call with HGC, and then HGC was like, "No, I haven't heard your name at all."
HGC
Oh
definitely heard
yeah.
it because Zach was like me, Zach, and HGC like that's we had a call and like Zach Ped was that's where it started. He was like Benji, like I want Benji on. I was like, oh, are you sure? Like Benji told me he feels good with you. He's like, no, like I want Benji gone. And then so HGC definitely knew, like he was like lying to you.
Oh,
Because
he
I
definitely
told
did. Like
because
I think I told you that I felt good with Zach
You
after
did.
it was either Zach Rav, maybe it was Caleb. Somebody else told me that like my name was out there. So I told you so you would
Yeah.
leak to Zach Ped that
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
had it because I was like the timing was too perfect for that. And I was like, okay.
No, because HGC called me. So I had heard that Zach was wanting Benji out, and then HGC and I called, and HGC basically confirmed it to me. So then I went to Benji and I went, HGC basically just told me that like you're pretty much in danger. So then Benji called HGC and HGC
and
played
HGC
dumb.
was like,
So
no. And I was like, all right, gotta go.
That's perfect.
Also,
yeah.
my okay, wait. So what happened with this? Because apparently Benji threw Caleb under the bus for leaking to him, but
Yeah,
then
I want to know
Benji.
how that came back to me when I know for a fact I was like the third person to tell you.
Did I?
It did
Because
because
Zach
I think I was
had
I was
almost voted me
probably
that
the
round.
least because Zach leaked it to me. And I wasn't gonna say Zach because like he and I had been kind of like discussing nominations and votes pretty closely. And then you told me, and then I think I told maybe it was Bryce
Wait, what'd you tell me? I wasn't paying attention.
that
Bryce
I told
McClanahan.
somebody that Caleb told me that Zach Ped said my name. And then that got back to Zach Ped. Like
I-
but it was
I don't think
it
it
was
was
like
me.
instantaneous. Like I hung up with you and Zach Ped told me I'm voting for Caleb. He's not to be trusted.
I don't think it was me. I didn't really leak too much this game.
It
But
might have it might have been HGC.
yeah.
In
That
that
would
case,
make
like
more
I was
sense.
just fucking around. Like
Well, because I knew. Well, actually, I didn't know. I didn't know Zach told you, but I know I called you and told you that your name was up there, and then Caleb called you after I did. But then I heard like literally 15 minutes later that Caleb was the one ratting, like that leaked it or whatever. And then I messaged Zach Ped with like 2 minutes to spare, and he's like, "Caleb's leaking my information."
Wait, it was me. I did it too. I just remembered.
Oh, Bryce. Like, bye. Bitch got what she deserved.
I don't think it was me because I don't think it was me that originated like the Caleb leaking it story. Like I
Oh,
told
not that.
somebody that Caleb told me. But
Wait, that Caleb told you what again? I want to double check.
that Caleb told me that Zach Ped wanted me out. But and I don't think because the time frame, like I was on with Caleb and then hung up, and then 30 seconds later, Zach Ped was like, I'm voting Caleb, I'm not voting you. Like
Maybe
Caleb's not to be trusted. And then he came to me next round saying, I lied, I did actually vote for you.
All right,
He was
maybe
gonna
it
vote
was me, maybe it wasn't. I don't
He
know.
was gonna vote me. Tyler messaged him because Zach messaged me telling me I messaged Tyler. Tyler was such a loyal Linda and convinced Zach Ped not to do it.
I messaged
Bryce
Zach with 2 minutes
McClanahan.
left.
It
I
might
said
not have been me. Ask Zach Ped. I don't even remember this.
I messaged Zach
but I
Ped
did
with,
tell him stuff, so I could have.
I messaged him with like 2 minutes left and was like, "Bitch, you just don't vote for Caleb, like, please." And then he's like, "Okay, fine, I won't."
Because he told me he wouldn't, and then he told me that he was the only vote for me, and that is like the worst stroke of luck immediately into me winning back-to-back dailies.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so sorry, I have to.
That was kind of pushed.
The votes, I don't know about you guys, but I was really digging well, it had me stressed out every time, but
I was digging the wheel format.
was very,
Me too.
very fun.
That was fun. No, I agree.
Even like the split house, like
Enjoyed
our
it.
vote was like 2 to 2 to 1 to 1. And Kennedy, I remember like we were really shocked about that. And that's why I was like, I didn't want you to think I wanted you out because we had built so much trust in that round because of how crazy it was. But I remember even like the first 2 votes, like Brian randomly got 3 votes, and then everyone was surprised about that. Like for the first, I want to say 4 or 5 rounds, like there were shocking votes on there every time.
Yeah.
That brought the
Yeah, I do like obviously it's planned preseason. I do wish we would have done the wheel the whole time. I do think we would have seen a little more drama out of some of these big alliances and connections and
Yeah.
stuff at the end game when that was the only options. But I still think it was a fun season, a fun format. I liked it. So
If you do anything else again next season, you have to bring back the gift box challenge because that caused more drama than
Yeah.
anything in the game did.
I thought that was a great comp. I loved it.
That was so good. What was that? Was that originally like the Live Night HOH in Risky Business?
It's Squid Games,
I believe
isn't
so,
it?
but it came from
Yeah.
Squid
Yeah.
Games.
Came from Squid Game. Like it's so good, but like in the Big Brother format, we did it there. I
I
want to know
think
what
it
would have
was.
I want to know what would have happened if Zach Rav and I switched it, and so he got to
Oh,
pick
the game's completely
safe.
different.
I would have been so fine, I think.
Yeah, I think the game's
Yeah,
completely
I mean, yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
do Zach Pet for sure. I don't know what you would have done, Benji, but
I think I would have told you that I was going to do Tyler to try and get you to switch off of Zach Ped.
But what would you have done if he didn't?
At that point, I was kind of thinking of trying to break up like the group, and I felt least close with Tyler after my call with Kennedy.
Period.
Dang.
No, because our call was so fun. We just like chatted.
Yeah,
It was vibey.
like
No,
honestly,
honestly, that's like looking back at it afterward, I was like, thank goodness that you have to go first.
On the
Yeah.
Or it's terrible.
on the note of alliances, Zach, you don't have to answer this, but us in the eliminated players chat, we were wondering what you would have done if Eli had come in last instead of Caleb in that last challenge.
And you had to pick between
Yeah,
me, Tyler, and Caleb.
Basically saved our friend group with that.
yeah. No, I'm not gonna answer that because genuinely I don't think these people can like handle that. And those,
I said when
like-
we come back for season
Yawn,
2,
I
yawn.
respect that.
All I know is you were joking about having to go between Tyler and Caleb, so I'm hoping that means it wasn't me. But it might have been.
I think it would have been Caleb.
Zach did tell me I was number 1 on his ranking.
It's
I
giving
mean,
me
in terms of
Oh.
like, I mean, clearly you should not have been. It was in terms of like, it was in terms of like trust of like who I
Mm.
like thought would like tell me if there was
Mhm.
like something I needed to know or like whatever like
Mm.
that. But clearly that was not the
Interesting.
case because Tyler like obviously
I think
kept
it's so funny
much.
because like I dropped on Tyler and Caleb's rankings because I covered up an alliance because I didn't want to expose your business. And then you exposed our business
Well,
and
honestly,
it made
Kennedy,
me drop.
Kennedy, I genuinely like fully trusted you, but Tyler like, was like from like the beginning. Tyler was like, Kennedy's leaking everything to Brian. She's leaking
I
everything to
literally
Brian. You
didn't
can't
say
trust
a single
her.
thing to anybody. I kept my lips sealed. I just said, Brian
Yeah.
Spencer, you're
No.
hot, and I'm happy that you're here.
No,
That's literally all I
honestly,
said to Brian
so
Spencer.
Kennedy, I never thought you would actually vote for me, but
I should have.
when you told me you weren't in an alliance, when Zach told me that you were in a chat
Because
with
I didn't want to expose it for Zach.
so after
That's
that,
my
I was like,
man.
okay. So then I thought your loyalty was more with Brian than me.
See, I think if Brian stayed any longer, Kennedy, you and I would not have been working together. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I would have Brian, so.
That's for damn
Yeah,
sure.
Brian-
No,
So
I don't even.
So Kennedy, you didn't
yeah.
you didn't leak anything to Brian, like anything
I
like
didn't think so.
like. So Tyler, what was that about then?
Honestly,
I didn't have anything. I didn't really have anything to like leak. I don't think I
We
leaked
talked
anything.
about it. What did I say? I genuinely
Brian
don't
didn't even know how close me and Caleb were.
Yeah, no, Tyler just like told me like literally round 2. He's like, everyone is saying that you, Brian, and Kennedy are a trio, and Kennedy's leaking all the information to Brian. Like we can't like tell
I
her
didn't tell
things.
anybody anything. You can ask all of these people here. My conversations were good in a human sense, but dry as fuck game wise. Like like if someone was like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't know what the house doing. What do you want to do?" Like
That's so true.
I didn't
Kennedy,
leak shit.
you were giving me nothing for like 4 rounds. And
But
then
you
after
left
I
me
was like,
because we still talk.
yeah, we
I can
did.
be a person, but I to hold my cards close when I'm a player.
The only thing you gave me is a box.
I did give you a box. Because I
Rat.
didn't think you would guess me.
And I did it. I literally was fuming in the eliminated chat, and I went through literally the entire cast until there was like 3 people left I didn't guess, and you were on that list. Like I was,
Yeah.
I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
That
Oh, bye, Eli.
Bye, Eli.
Mwah, good job.
Bye. Have a good night, everyone.
that
That's
game
my
is so much more fun
finalist.
when you don't have the box, you didn't give the box, and you can just sit around acting suspicious as fuck.
Because there's no world where you get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was like I wanted to say I knew it was Zach, but I didn't want to like I was like on the off chance that I'm wrong, I don't want to like lose trust.
I actually think
Okay.
that
You could've
comp
saved the
like really
season.
helped us, Benji, because
mean-
like we had talked really well, but like I said, I didn't really give game information to like anybody. So when I had guessed you and you didn't give me the box, I was like, okay. I had trusted all of these other people, like these other people. I was like, okay. Antoinette, I was a little worried. I was between you and Antoinette. Not that you would do anything, but like
why?
you're so nice, and I feel like you could never hurt anyone. But as soon as it wasn't you, I was like, okay, like I can trust Benji, like at least a bit. And I was like, okay, cool. And it was great because you never got the box, so you didn't have to show your cards to anybody.
I need clarification. When
Yes.
so on the scavenger hunt round, Tyler told me that
Mhm.
Kennedy and Zach Rav, you would have sent me in if you won.
Who was left?
That was the
Was that
Burks
when Antoinette
Tyler.
went in? No, it was Burks versus
No.
Tyler.
Yeah.
I think I had told you that I did not want to win that comp.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you said that about like 9 other comps.
That's not an answer. The
Thanks,
non-answer.
not you exposing that I was fucking throwing. No, I think it would have been between you and Antoinette. I think I would have eventually done Antoinette, and I would have felt really shitty about it.
I thought
But-
Antoinette was gone.
She
then.
wasn't there
Antoinette was
for that
gone.
round.
Antoinette was already
gone.
gone.
I wasn't there in the scavenger hunt.
I think she was there that
so-
night,
so
but
who are
we
my
did 2 rounds
options?
that night.
Oh my god, wait, it was you. The only people I was able to do was you, Taisha, or Eli in my head because I couldn't do Zach or Caleb. It really would have come down to if I wanted to do that to Taisha because I couldn't do it to Eli because Eli and I had kind of like made our reparations, and I think it would have been between you and Taisha. But I
Okay.
probably would have used it as, especially because it was Burks and I wanted Burks to stay. I probably would have done Taisha, because I wanted Burks to stay.
That's fair. That's why I threw in Tyler. I was like, I think anybody else
Mm-hmm.
could.
I just remember you saying, "Girl, I need to hold on to Taisha because I need someone to, I need a cushion." And I was like, mm-hmm. And then Taisha got purged. I love her so much, but like you called it.
My one. She ate Tyler up. She ate Tyler up. She had him so mad about that box.
That was. I love the fucking box comp. It's so good.
Ugh.
And Tyler fucking
Honestly-
counting votes every single round, trying to figure out who voted for
Also,
who.
I think what like finally I think fully sunk me was I think I fed Zach the Tyler versus Caleb thing. I was never ever gonna take a shot at Caleb. And then Tyler and I made like a deal like 15 minutes before
If
the
Tyler
comp.
ever makes you a deal in the game, I heard Tyler so many times say, "Yeah, I made a
Oh.
deal, but I'm not like committed to it."
Oh,
Like
I
I
know.
told
Sure.
Jake I wasn't voting
For
for him, but like
sure.
I'm still gonna do it.
I
So
was
if
literally
Tyler
like, this is
ever
I was
makes a
like, this
deal
is such
with you-
bullshit, but I'll say whatever.
Oh yeah, was it when you guys made a deal to put up the second place people?
No, that never happened.
Oh,
No,
period.
it wasn't like a deal we made. We just like talked about it. Like, oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
well,
we-
you
we
had
just
basically said,
who are
like-
we putting in? And he was like, I'm putting in Jake, and I said, I'm putting in Zach. Cool.
yeah.
No, Tyler was like,
The final
yeah,
two
we
of both
agreed
of
that we
those
were gonna
was
do the
so
second
fucking-
place people, but I
Not
might
like
not.
because they were the second place
Tyler.
people.
Yeah, I
Wait, so
don't
what
think
are
I
we-
meant it because they were the second place, but like that's what it ended up being.
Yeah.
So wait, but Benji, what were you talking about? You said Tyler versus Caleb. What? I don't know what you were referring
Oh,
to.
So I told Tyler he was going in, and in response, he told me he pitched you or Kennedy because he said that you or Kennedy said that you would throw me in that round if you won.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
did
When
say
I
that.
when I never did. Yes, I knew you said that, and yes, I
But
obviously
then
did not say that.
I did the exact same thing when Caleb said he was throwing me in. I was like, throw in Zach Rav. Do it now.
Yeah, he said,
Yeah.
well, because I asked him, because I had heard, obviously, Tyler told me about your deal, and I was like, in my head, the round before, it was between me and Tyler on who you were going to throw in. Is that correct?
You were the last person I told. It was always going to be Tyler, but I didn't want to say I never want to say here's what I'm doing. I want to
Mhm.
say here are my options. What do you think? To try and like get info out of people and make them think that they're like involved in my decision.
Yeah, that's what you did with me.
process.
I just was happy
Um,
it wasn't me.
I was, yeah, honestly, I was kind of like, I'll go with whatever. These people have promised me safety. It's fine. I was never, ever going to take a shot at you, Caleb. I thought that you were one of the people that would be better to take to a final compared to a lot of the other people, but that's not something that you
Drag
can
her.
say to someone
Drag her.
else.
Drag her.
On that
I
note,
mean, comparatively, you're not wrong.
Give Caleb that
but-
tangram. Let's see. Let's see.
Did y'all
But
see
I couldn't-
Caleb match though? I mean,
wait,
But I mean,
Benji,
But
Caleb,
one of the
I
comps
can't
we
be like,
had
you're
to,
telling me
like,
I'm going in
we
and
had
I'm
to
gonna
pick
be
up a
like,
ping pong ball with
I'm not threatened
pencils.
by you. Like that's
Wait.
not a thing to
No.
say.
But Benji, I want to know. I feel like I kind of asked you, but okay. So if Tyler had come in last place instead of me in that scavenger hunt, and I know you said you might have thrown it to Eli or Taisha, like if that had been the final three. But like, say randomly, like you had won, who would you have thrown in against Tyler?
Who were my options there?
It would have been Eli, Taisha, Kennedy, Zach, me, and Caleb.
I don't know. I think I actually would have thrown that.
Yeah.
I threw so many cups.
I don't know. I don't know what I would say. I was like,
No,
said
I
the
think if
memory
I
comp's
was
a little
aligned
too
with people that
hard.
like were I wasn't afraid of,
Caleb.
like I think it would have been fine because you bitches lied to my face and
No,
were throwing
it's-
not you bitches. The three bitches I'm looking at the bottom, Mr. Ravioli, actually not Zach. Zach only lied to me about like one thing, but Caleb and Tyler were like throwing me the fuck under, lying. I was expendable to them, so I should have won more comps. And because I was like, I don't want to win these because like I can't put up like I don't fucking know somebody that these guys feel comfortable with because I don't want to. I do that, but I should have anyway. Sorry.
It
go
was,
ahead.
I mean-
no, I knew I had to try to take a shot at Burks as soon as Tyler told me like way early on that he wanted to go to the final with Burks. I was like, okay, like
Interesting.
this is not happening.
Instead of
to
who,
be
Tyler?
fair-
Burks instead of who?
Burks was my number one the whole game.
Interesting.
Yeah,
fair
and I was
enough.
like, this is not happening. This
I
is
did not
happening.
realize that, and so I
How?
asked Burks, "Who do you not want to go against?" And he said Tyler. I was like, "Oh, bad news."
Yeah. I thought everyone knew that they were a duo, but I guess
I knew they were
not.
close, but like I thought Tyler was like not fake.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Like
to
a
be
magic.
honest, like he didn't throw you guys like he didn't
Yeah.
out your line like neither Caleb or Tyler told me about your guys' four. I mean, I kind of knew like it was already a thing, but neither of them like actively.
Caleb, when you put that in the fucking house chat, coochie coochie coo.
like
did.
it's like one of
Suspect
those
the
things
thing.
where I trusted Burks and Caleb the most
Your
with
name.
information. Well, Bryce, you saying that you leaked Zach Ted
Sure.
is one that you should not
I'm
have done.
50-50 if I did. I don't know if I leaked exactly that. I think I told him like something that round, but I'm doubting myself. Like I'm
My
not sure it
favorite
was me.
leaks are like when they just take a guess and it's right.
I don't
I
I
love
don't
those.
think I threw Caleb under the bus to anyone. So if it was something about throwing Caleb under the bus, I actually take it back. But I don't.
No,
think it
because
was
we were
me.
like in the same boat. So, because we were always grouped in with Hall of Fame, but like
Mhm.
we were not running that shit.
Oh,
We were expendable.
oh,
I just don't.
yeah.
I just don't know why Tyler didn't trust me with information. I keep my mouth shut.
Because he
Because
didn't
my
know
favorite
about
thing
about
other
you, Ravioli.
friends.
Because I felt like the exact same situation I was in, you were in the same situation, Zach, where like obviously we've either played or hosted everyone on this game. So we obviously had the most connections coming in. So I figured you could have had other connections I just didn't know about.
And I did. So
I was gagged a little bit when Zach and I were on call, and I was like, "You're my number one," and you were like, "Tyler's my number one."
I told you the truth. You said are we are we final two? And I said, well, I'm not gonna call it that because that's not what I'm doing in
And it's a final four anyway.
like that's not what I'm doing. And I said, but like I feel like honestly, I mean, you tell me, I would have thought you would have like appreciated that more because I was being completely blunt with you.
Oh no, I did. I'm like, great, cool. He's actually trusting me enough to tell me I'm not his final two. That's almost better than a fake promise.
Well, it was like, so me and Zach like talked like round one of the game, and we were like, it's the final four, so like we don't necessarily have to sit here and be like, oh, we're a final two. Like that's not the situation. Like I don't think there's a situation I would have ever sent Zach in, but it was like I didn't want to play next to Zach. Like I didn't want to play hand in hand. I wanted to play my own game, but I wouldn't have sent Zach in.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I
I
would've-
thought about it when Kennedy was on a limb. I did.
Oh.
Thought about what?
Sending
Zach
me
in.
I told you to do it.
Why would you send me in,
Why?
Taylor?
Because you are a strong competitor. But at that point, Benji had won like 3 comps, so he was a bit stronger.
You said
One of them I
send-
literally one
I
of them I
said
came
this-
in second to Tyler for. We were just in the split house, and the other one I sat there.
No, honestly,
I had
this is
said
like
at the beginning of the game,
ridiculous.
I said this to Caleb and I said this to Zach and Tyler. I think you were on the call. I had said at the beginning of the game that at some point we were going to be used as executioners to get rid of comp people, and that's exactly what you fucking used me for, Caleb.
And I told Caleb, I was like, "Why are you doing this?"
That's exactly.
I picked the
Okay.
wrong final four. Honestly, I should have.
You
I should have.
won.
But still, I wanted to go to the end with the people who
Girl.
had my back the most, and I just assumed
You-
that was like y'all three. But it
Cough,
should have
cough.
honestly Antoinette should have been
Cough.
there.
Wait, Zach,
Antoinette
no,
was
Antoinette.
because I was more
Antoinette.
loyal to you than anyone.
Yeah, Kennedy
Yes,
was.
but
Me and Antoinette.
I need you to know, Antoinette, if any of these bitches got taken out in an elimination, you were I was like, Antoinette, like, I got you.
Did you vote for her though?
Benji,
You
I want to
voted-
know
you
that.
voted
I
for
want you to know that was
Antoinette
you
To go in on
Antoinette.
the wheel in the split
Yes.
house.
If I lost these bitches, I was holding my
I voted
breath.
Sarah.
I didn't.
It was
I voted
Jake, no?
Sarah.
Jake and Sarah.
Oh,
voted Antoinette.
I'm stupid. I'm being stupid. I'm being
No,
dumb.
I don't.
Wait,
No.
I mixed it up. I mixed it up.
My
Wait,
plan
can
was to
someone
go
ex-
silent and comp out, but a luck comp said no.
The memory.
That was kind of rotted,
The
I will
memory
say.
comp.
The
Okay.
matching comp.
Wait, can
No, because
someone
literally
explain the
we were
logic?
on call.
Hmm?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. So there were a lot of times that he was like in my ear on screen share. And I specifically muted during the memory comp and I told him not to help me. Like, I was like, don't like help me with this. And then as soon as Michael Davis was like, you can write stuff down, I was like, Brennan, write this the fuck down. Write it down.
I was like, God damn it.
So he is the reason you lost. Got it.
I was like, I love that comp, but like
I was
writing
the
it
only
down,
one
I
who
was like,
said for you not to lose.
no.
All right.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
I have to go, everyone. But
Bryce,
you
I'll
guys
see you
are-
on the floor.
yes,
You
I'll see you on the
shady
floor. You guys are.
bitch.
I don't think it was me. I rescind that. I remember I leaked something that round, but I never leaked anything bad about